Catches, puts up a three. One go. Rebound box.
Now head over in this direction. Gone to three.
Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. The impossible has happened.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
Anthony for three. Puts it in. Bridges. Oh my God. Oh, what? Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang!
And we're back. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cam's Corner. Today, joining me, a good friend of mine, another Rhode Island native, just like myself, currently at Springfield College playing football. Just committed for his next year at Bridgewater State to continue his football career. Guys, help me and welcome in Colin Anzeveno to the show. Colin, pleasure as always, man. Thank you for joining me.
Sure, bro.
Yeah,
Lucky
for sure.
to be here.
To start off, before we get into football, explain to me how the passion came about for you as far as lifting weights and having that passion to go to the gym and stuff like that, just grinding every day like that.
Well, I always growing up, like as any other kid would be, like I was a fat kid growing up, so always want to look good in the gym. And I didn't really care about working out until after my freshman year when I realized maybe I could probably go prep school, play some prep school football, and it took a lot because it's a lot more competition than it is in Rhode Island. So I dedicated myself to. A lot of people think I'm like some powerlifter bodybuilder. I'm not. I work out for football. I just really work really hard, which is why I'm as big as I am, especially being a D lineman. So as soon as I figured out I want to work out for football, I figured I need to work out as much as I can. So over time, I started developing this love for working out, all in the process of the love for football. But as time went on, I realized what weightlifting could do for you, as a mental aspect, physically how it could help you in a physical aspect, and I just fell in love with this. So I dictate all my time, and that's a career I want to get into after football, especially weightlifting.
When did you start taking it more serious? Obviously in high school and stuff like that, but what do you remember what year it was like?
So I started taking it more seriously my sophomore year. Sophomore, junior year. A lot of people don't know, junior year I broke my back, so I was in physical therapy for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And all I knew, I had to study the body, how to study how it worked, what I can do to prevent injuries. So I did a lot of stuff like that, but I honestly started learning the most and really getting into it the most, as I am now, about 2 years ago. So my senior year, going into my freshman year in college, I started to learn the most, and that's where I saw the most results. But I really started getting into it my sophomore year in high school. But it was just testing things out, testing the waters of everything, how it worked. But I really found my way these past 2 years, and just where I seen the most results.
Yeah, especially with physical therapy, breaking your back is, it's made, you obviously need it, but it's, ways to work it out and to adjust it. And of course, weightlifting came around with it, but how well has it transitioned into your game on the field now?
This year we haven't played I haven't played a season yet because, COVID year. And this year transferring. But, I could definitely see about how I'm training. It really came into the game a lot for me because there's so much to the game of football. And what comes with football and any other sport, how you train your body, how you condition your body, all plays a factor into how you play on the field, on the court. And I could definitely see a lot because when you take into consideration what it takes to be a football player, lower body strength, upper body strength, agility, speed, jumping, all that, I can see it really affecting my game because when you get older and you get to a higher level, you start to see there's more to the game than just playing and tackling and running for a touchdown. So as I started to learn more about the game, I started to incorporate a lot of stuff that was going to help me be a more powerful football player. And I can see that it really has helped me a lot because the game is so advanced now these days that the most you do for yourself is the better you can do on the field.
No, definitely. So what's a workout look like for you on a day-to-day basis? I know each day you're working out a different part of your body, but what's it looking like for you?
So say for instance, usually a bodybuilder would do arms, chest, back. See, me, for instance, Monday is usually upper body day. So it's bench oriented, main lift. And then it's a lot of powerful movements, say I'll do so whether it's pull-ups, whether it's always start off with some type of conditioning, rolling out, single arm dumbbells, mainly chest oriented and upper body oriented. But it's hard to break down. And say a Tuesday would be lower body day. So I wouldn't just do legs. I would front squat, but I'd also do cleans, also do snatches. I would also do some form of single leg exercise because people think you train both legs, but you run on two legs. You run on one leg at a time, not two.
Yeah.
So, I'll train a lot of single leg squats, just a lot of sled pushes, stuff to really keep my body conditioned and used to that athletic performance, not just trying to build that muscle. You know what I mean? Trying to build a muscle memory and athletic performance within your body.
Right. So how well does like a diet kind of fit into that? Like, what's your diet look like?
Diet is most of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Diet is like 30% of your results is working out, and the other 70% is dieting. Because you can work out all you want, but without proper dieting, you're not going to recover properly, and you're not going to perform properly.
Exactly.
You can put all that work in, but if you're not getting in the right nutrients, enough proteins, enough carbs, and eating right, then it's going to affect you bad, and how your body recovers from your workouts, how you perform during your workouts, how you perform in a game. And a lot of people don't understand, but everyone thinks this is one magical diet for everyone. Everyone's body is different. So it may work for me, may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. So it's all about testing the waters and seeing how your diet works.
Right. Different body types. Exactly. Like you said, is it hard to like tackle playing football out of state, you know, working out where you do, working a job, school work? Is it, you know, all the routine?
It's hard to balance, honestly. Like, but I mean, I do it. You know,
right.
I think it's easy. Everyone would do it. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, I tried, like, I always worked during high school, so I didn't really have to prioritize football. But once, you know, college came around, I gave to myself, this opportunity, you know, I'll sacrifice the nights going out and, you know, play partying or going out spending money so I can train, because, you know, if I'm not working, I don't have the money to do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to buy into myself, because at the end of the day, when I hang up my cleats, I don't want to think that I didn't give it my all. Right. So when it comes to school, you know, obviously the school I go to, it's academics first. You obviously get academics in, but you always have your practices every day. And then, so I won't work during the season. I usually don't work during the school year because it's hard to keep up with. Yeah. Like even when you're out of season, you still have practice and lifts.
Not right.
And I'm still training. During vacations, I'll work as much as I can, like over the summer and over winter break, over spring break. But other than that, usually it's a tough balance. But you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? You get so used to it. You know what I mean? That you start to like prioritize things. Like you'll still prioritize, you know, getting a lift in and getting schoolwork done rather than going out or staying up late.
Yeah.
You know, just how anyone would do. Like, you know what I mean? Just as our parents would do. You know, they prioritize. You know, like, oh, could they go to the bar right on a night like this? Yeah. But do they got work in the morning? Yeah. You know, they got bills to pay. So it's like anything in life. You just gotta, you know, find out your priorities and go from there.
Especially, yeah, right. Like me too. Like, you know, I go through the same exact mindset every day. It's like, you know, I'm trying to bang out as many things, you know, videos as I can with this, you know, working and going to school at the same time. Like, I know it's different for you because you're an athlete. I'm not an athlete, but it's just another thing to tackle. People got to have that mindset. Like you said, like you could go out this night, but you could also be grinding, doing your thing, perfecting your craft just to be at that level. Cause you know, you never know where your journey could take you. But backtracking a little bit now into like your football career, how many sports did you grow up playing? Like when you were a kid, like at the middle school level? And then
I played probably almost every sport. Like I played, obviously every kid plays baseball. You know, parents always sign them up for baseball. Basketball was my first passion. Yeah. You know, I played, you know, we played against each other, you know, against like high schools, middle schools, all-stars, you know, rec, travel, everything, even AAU. You know, basketball my first passion, but then I realized to myself, you know, it's like, this isn't a sport that I'm going to be playing at the next level with. You know, it's like coming from the financial situation I came from, I needed a free education. That's where football is going to get me. You know what I mean? So I stuck with football. I was always better at football. So I obviously played football. I played lacrosse in high school, basketball. I did wrestle for a little bit in middle school, nothing crazy. And then even 1 year, like I tried, you know, a lot of people make fun of this, but I don't care to say, you know, I did competitive cheer team for 1 year.
Right. Yeah.
Just a bunch of guys on the football team ended up doing that. So I was like, you know, let me do it. You know, we ended up coming third in the States. Nothing crazy. Like, you know, it's like, I don't really care to say it. You know, I got no shame.
Yeah, have fun with it. Yeah.
So I grew up playing basically every other sport, which is honestly very good. And a lot of athletes fail to realize. Like, if you're a baseball player, I wouldn't recommend playing football because that's how you get hurt. But it's always good that, you know, different muscles you use to incorporate in every sport. It's good to transfer because you just become a more well-rounded athlete.
So has football, has football always ran like in your family? Like
me and my brother, the only two people in my family play football.
Really? Like to go like
play in general.
And like at all. Not
at
even
all,
high school, nothing. Wow.
No one. Yeah.
So how did like you know, playing as many sports as you did, how did you grow a passion for football? Like just tackling that many sports, and you know, has sports ran in your family, or is it just like you guys just
honestly like no one, like we didn't really have sports in our family. You know, the only like athletes that you could say we grew up was like, you know, like our Uncle Richard, you know, like our cousin Ty, and then but other than that, my parents didn't play sports. Mm-hmm. Me and my brother were just athletes, you know, we just took like we were always just hardworking athletes, you know, always the bigger kids. Like, you know what, I'm not the biggest, but we were always the bigger kids, you know. Football was just a sport that we really just like were able to grasp onto a lot better, and we just took it from there.
That passion kind of stemmed for you guys because you felt like you guys were like the most dominant at it compared to like the other sports that you guys played.
For sure, yeah. It's also like there's also like, like people use the sports and like say working out as a way to like get away from like the stuff on the outside.
Yeah.
That's what football really was for us. We created a lot of friendships with people, relationships, coaches, players, fans, etc. And we just grew a passion for it. We were good at it. We wanted to do something. My brother, I don't know if you know, he went to play at prep school.
Yeah.
In New England. He played for a very good prep school team. Now he's at Trinity College. It's just like, always want to be like my older brother too, following his footsteps. And that's what I did. We just really grew a passion for it. It was something we both were good at. We liked, and that's why we trained together. And now here we are today, just like working day-to-day football.
Exactly. I know me and you were the same age, but when I was like, I don't know how old I was, but I remember like, I know your brother played basketball too. He probably played, the same amount of sports that you did. Like you said, not a lot of people in your family like had that like sports like background, I guess. So who would you say like was like your biggest role model, like, to this day, till even like just growing up throughout your whole journey?
Growing up, it's like it's hard to say, honestly. It's like I did it for the enjoyment.
Yeah.
I did it to get away from all the problems, like you have in your day-to-day life. But like it came to a certain point, like siblings always fight, don't get along. It came to a point, my brothers, I wanted to be just like my older brother. You know what I mean? To the point that me and my brother are best friends now. We train together. So my brother, you could say my biggest role model, but more so professional athletes. You know what I mean? I like the backstory on the athletes. Like, you know what I mean? I like seeing the athletes who come from nothing and make something of themselves. Like I always just found stuff like that. Like, I like the Kobe Bryant story, like the mentality. It's always like athletes like that who have a good story, like Kevin Durant, LeBron, Michael Jordan, like Bo Jackson, Tom Brady, all the athletes that like really worked and just like are dominant in their sport. It just really inspired me to become who I am.
Right. And like, have you had any maybe like professional ties? Like I know you like you've known Kwity Paye on a little bit more of a personal level. I know you showed me like
we in high school, I was never afraid to DM and ask for advice. I would DM him asking for advice on football. A couple other guys who are at the professional level I know. My friend Nick Giorgio, he was a very good dominant football player, and I look up to him. He's another role model in my life right now. It's like a professional. I thrive to try to be like them. You know what I mean? Be my own version of myself, sort of in their footsteps, because I don't want to be like anyone. I want to be my own self, but I want to follow in those footsteps and see where I can go. So like, have a lot of people in those corners and seeing those people be successful, it just makes me want to like more hungry to do what I do.
No, of course. And like you said, going back to like kind of like your high school days, like you said, how like you weren't like kind of satisfied with like the body type that you were, kind of being like a little on like the fat side. Not really like, as your high school career like progressed, like, you started to build more muscles, but like, you were still like on the smaller side, like compared to what you are now. What were the types of like positions that your coaches had you playing at the high school level?
So I came from a very dysfunctional high school. So
yeah,
I was the type of player where wherever they needed me, I played. So in high school, and I mainly played, like linebacker, D-line for defense, obviously.
Yep.
And then for offense, I was all over the place. I played running back, tight end, fullback, so every once in a while I go to the slot. But I was moved around wherever they needed me. I would even play kicker if they needed me to play. I never came off the field, which is such a big difference from college, because you only play one position for the most time.
And like you said, like you only play one position in college. Like they pick up a roster of 52 guys. So it's like they pick you up mainly for one spot. So it's not like you might have a chance at this position or this, like you're strictly in this spot, which kind of, not that it like sucks, but it's like, because you can like focus on like one thing. But high school, like you said, is not that it's dysfunctional. It's just so much different, like a different aspect, a different way to come about the game. What would you say like your most like memorable moment was playing 4 years at North Providence?
At North Providence, honestly, was the year I broke my back, because I barely could walk, but I would still manage to play every game. And I found out on a Thursday that I broke my back, and the doctor would hang the cleats up for the rest of the season. I played the next game anyway, had the best game of the season, and I got the game-winning tackle to get our team into playoffs. So that was probably the most memorable moment I had.
Wow. So like at that time, like you said, you were playing like a bunch of different positions, like offensively and defensively.
Yeah, so I was playing so much, and my back was just so bad. I couldn't walk. Like I didn't know what was wrong with my back. Then I found out, and I was like, let me just give it one more go. I need this.
Wow. So now bouncing into like your kind of college career, like now that you were like I said, out of your comfort zone almost in those positions because of your size, how did that give you, I guess, like more leverage, and like how did that experience help you now at the college level?
Well, at the college level, it helped me because like I always had to be like, when it's very different playing a D lineman than it is playing a running back. So when I was playing running back, I was used to being like nimble and mobile and like agile and everything. So when it came to playing D-line in college, I was like, I just had a quick little step off the line, a little quicker than most D-linemen did.
Mhm.
And I was a little more like agile, like more like, a lot of D-linemen, they move like stiff and like just typical big guy. And I was like, I feel like I just had that advantage because I played so many different positions. I knew how to like adapt in my speed. Like, you know what I mean? I always needed it.
Right. So how did you decide like on a college? Like, did you receive any offers like during high school or?
During high school, I had a lot of schools looking at me. I was getting recruited by Brown and Yale. I just, I didn't have the SAT score for those schools, so I really didn't bother proceeding with them. I went on visits. I was getting I got a couple of walk-on offers from the Bryant and URI, and then like just a typical D2 and D3 like Bentley, Southern Connecticut, like Western New England, Springfield, UMass Dartmouth, a bunch of other D3 schools, and it just came down to a matter of a school I felt would best fit me, like financially, and a place I really like, because like I figure if I'm gonna go there for the next 4 years, then I'll better like it. I mean, unfortunately, it didn't work at Springfield. A very good program. Very thankful for the coaches that did help me there, but I just had to move on to bigger and better things. You know what I mean?
No, of course, it's definitely like whatever's working for you. You got to keep going. Trust your gut. But how did you like? How many schools did you like actually like go and visit out of like all those? You went and visited all of them?
I didn't go. I went to go visit Brown. I went to go visit Bryant, Trinity College, University of New Haven, Springfield. Other than that, I just had to really focus on the schools. I figured, like, am I going to go here or not? So, like, I mean, I did a lot of traveling on my own. Like, I visited all the schools on my own, did everything on my own. So, after I went to go visit a lot of schools, I figured let me just break it down. It was tough because we're still in high school. You know what I mean? It was during exam time, midterms.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's hard to figure out like when I can go. But once I looked at Springfield, it looked like a very good school, and that's why I picked it.
Yeah. So kind of going more on like the football end, what would you say like the biggest change was in terms of like playing the game from that transition from high school now to football at the college level?
Totally different atmosphere. Like there's no joking around. Like there's no nothing. Obviously, you have your fun. Like it's football, have fun, but it's more serious, more of a commitment. You have meetings every day for you have position meetings. You have meetings with your defense. You have scheduled lifts. But yeah, so it's a very totally different atmosphere. That's what I feel like I lacked because coming from North Carolina high school, I didn't really have good guidance as a football player. Just like you go out there and you just do your thing. It's like, so when I went there, I was just like so much thrown at me.
Yeah.
It's totally different. Based on from where a lot of other kids are coming from, where they had all this stuff, meetings and everything. But, I adapted to it just like anyone else did, and anything else that came across in my life, I adapted to it, and I learned from it. I liked it because you had to become more disciplined, and that's what I try to follow, a very disciplined lifestyle, consistency, a set schedule.
Exactly. So like going along those same lines, has your mindset changed at all? Like as far as maybe like your confidence now, like you're a bigger size, like the way you go about like your play style and things like that?
Totally. Like it's a big part is being confident, being humble.
Mm-hmm.
There's different. A lot of people don't understand the difference between being humble, grateful, and content. Like I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for being as big as I am, as strong as I am, but I'm not content with myself. Like I always know I can always do more. A big thing I took from it is like when you start to take ownership of a lot of stuff, like whether you did things wrong in a game or in a practice or in the weight room, you start to grow more as a person and as a player.
No, exactly. No doubt. So like going back to like your freshman year, how was like the first few like weeks of practice? Like just take me through like your mindset and what you were thinking as you were like participating in all these things.
When I went there, I wasn't looking for friends. I obviously, meet friends, be friendly.
Strictly
but
business,
I went there went in strictly business, do my thing. It's like keep my head down, be friendly to everyone, be nice. Because at the end of the day, those people are your brothers on the field, they got your back no matter what. But I went in there with the mindset is like I can't afford to. I work too hard to like settle, work around to mess around. I want to be business. I want to be the best thing that for myself to come out of that school. I want to be the best thing for that program. That's the mindset I went in there with. But it took me back a little bit because I wasn't really like it. When you act that way, you have to learn to be coachable at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's why I take a lot of ownership in some things. Like I could have went there with a different mentality, a little less, more on edge, more like open-minded, which I adapted to, and I think I'm very good at now. But having a good mentality will take you far as an athlete in college.
Yeah, of course. You got to be, coachable. You have to be like the whole package to kind of like stand out, definitely at the college level. But so you said that you didn't even play like this year, like last semester?
We had a season, but I ended up with the transfer process, like when I had an injury and like I just like with some like financial things, I had to end up coming home from treatment. So I didn't have I still have all my eligibility. I'm still ready, but I'm doing really good now. It's just a matter of when the time comes to play.
Yeah. So how was the first run down the first the whole season for me, like your freshman year,
freshman year was COVID year, so it was rough during COVID. As it was for many athletes. We'd get there, we'd meet, we'd mask, stay distant from each other. There was a set schedule for when you meet up, when certain groups would meet in time, because you can't have so many people in a facility at a time. And then someone would test positive for COVID. Then you got to go back. So, when you're playing sports, how it goes in high school, you wait, no helmet for a couple of days, wear a helmet for a couple of days, shoulder pads for a couple of days, full pads, and then hitting. We got to the full pads maybe once or twice, and then we had to step back because of COVID. So it was hard. We had a lot of online. It was very different. And it was just I didn't get the really good first college experience. I took what I could out of it, but it was really tough. It's really hard to say. Coming this year was very strictly business. Obviously some COVID things where things got better, but you get there, you practice, you have a set schedule, breakfast, this, that, and the other thing, game days, taping, everything. And just the whole rundown, pretty much how it went this year.
So you really haven't really had an actual full year of experience because it's just COVID just kind of taken over.
COVID messed up a lot of things,
Yeah.
But it gave you a learning lesson as anything would in life. Did it suck? Most definitely, because I didn't really get to have a good college experience yet.
No, of course. And like I said earlier about time management and stuff like that, what is so since, COVID kind of paused the season for your freshman year, this season as well, a little bit, how do those off-season workouts go? Do workouts get more intense now that you have more time, more of a workload compared to during the season?
Yeah, usually they get a little more intense because your body, your body wasn't as fatigued as it would be during a season.
Yeah.
So it's a little more intense for a longer period of time. But usually pretty much the same thing. It's all about what your intended goals are, whether to become a good football player, more agile, more athletic, faster, stronger. So programs pretty much stay the same, just though the intensity stayed for a little longer than it would, because your body needs a break. You have to listen to your body. Your career won't be that long in the sport. You won't do as good. You have to listen to your body, make sure you're getting your rest, eating right. So like I said, the intensity would stay for a long period of time, but then, just pretty much the same thing, same schedule, same workout schedule. It's pretty good because my facility is a private owned facility in Cumberland. So, it wasn't really a big crowd there. And I really had time to do my thing,
No, for sure. So what were the types of camps that you went to, obviously in high school and during college too? And what were the type of athletes that you used to work out with? 'Cause I know you used to work out with Cam Alves, who I've had on. I know Cena, who's at Stonehill too, those kinds of players. So what kind of players are surrounded by you, and what were the types of programs that you got yourself into to prepare?
So during high school, I went to typical camps on Brown, Bryant, BC. A couple of other camps, just because the camps they're expensive.
Yeah.
But now it's I go to some training facilities. I'll have my friend Nick Giorgio. He'll do a lot of D-line work with me and agility work, and my brother's pretty much our trainer.
Mm-hmm.
So we come up with our own stuff. But we were all me, Cam Alves, we were all going. This kid Jermaine, he was Springfield college football player, and he works for Island Athletics right now, and he does a lot of training for us. And so we go down to Newport, and we usually go there with a big group of football players. Some pro. One of the guys played for the Texans. He went to Bryant. You could just get a whole bunch of work in there, just to really keep up with your body, because it's easier to be coached than to think for yourself.
Yeah.
Thinking for yourself stresses you out too much rather than just being told that that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And that can become easier, but it's sometimes it costs money, just anything. But it's always good to be coached up, and Jermaine's a very good coach and very respected man if I have him.
Yeah. So now after
a lot of hardworking players, I'm very picky with who I surround myself from, because like I said, who you surround yourself with is who you become. So a kid like Cam Alves is a very good athlete, very respected kid, hardworking, someone I want to surround myself with. A couple other players who go there, the Camel twins don't really go there, but I have a lot of respect for them, good hardworking kids. So those are all type of kids I can surround myself with. But I keep my crowd small because you want to be consistent with who you train with.
For sure. And like you said, like, Nick and Tom have said it a plentiful amount of times. You got to surround yourself with the people that have like the same mindset as you, because they're going to get the same end result as you at the end of the day. Now, after all that under your plate at Springfield, workouts and all that kind of stuff, what made you decide you wanted to transfer now to play football at Bridgewater State for next year?
Like I said, the program, I love the program a lot. Things didn't really work out for me. It's like both financially and, I just needed a new change. I need something different. You know what I mean? I thought to myself, maybe this wasn't the right school for me. Nothing happened. Nothing serious happened. I just needed a fresh start, change.
No, for sure.
Have you been a little more local? Bridgewater State's only like 45 minutes away from me. Easier, accessible if I need to go back to family or whatnot. So I just felt like I needed a good change, and Bridgewater State was a school I wanted to pick.
Have you been on like the campus? Like, have you been on the campus?
Yeah, I went on the campus a few weeks ago. The very, very nice campus. I fell in love with the campus. So that's made me fall in love with the school. So I love the campus. The coach is very good. The guy who owns my strength and conditioning facility, he also went there. One of the trainers also goes there. Another couple of trainers that I know play football, they go there. They went there. So it has a good rep, and I just I'm very like conscious of where I pick to go, and I just felt like I picked the right place.
So currently now, like, during this process, like, what are you doing now as far as preparing yourself like for the next chapter of your football career?
Training every day. I was up at 5 o'clock this morning with train. Start my day early, especially with the holidays. I even work out on Christmas. You gotta get the Christmas lift in at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Right now, it's a consistent schedule. It's like a breakdown. So my brother just got out of season. He finished season. It was a little more slower because it's like your body has to recover. So we're getting into more like conditioning our bodies to the lifting. Then it's more strength training, a mixture of like speed and D-line. And it's probably like 4 to 5 days of lifting. 3 to 4 days of running and conditioning. Typical split. And now I just finished with exams. Finally finished my last assignment today.
There you go.
Semester.
Yeah.
Go to Bridgewater State the 19th. Hopefully, with all this COVID stuff going on.
Oh, I know. It's been canceling a bunch of things.
Hopefully, I'll be able to go back to campus. So then I just prepare from there, and then it's just like typical like whatever the school has to give to us for like off-season lifts and team lifts, and then prepare to my own working out. So I just take it day by day, listen to my body, because like I said, the biggest thing is listening to your own body, make sure you're being smart, because everyone can be a tough guy and fight their injuries until it comes time to perform and you're not there.
Yeah, it's good that you got your head on straight and your mindset is like locked in. Of course, like we just said, like COVID, hopefully that doesn't mess anything up, because I'm a big Providence College Friars basketball fan. Yeah. Their game just got canceled. They're supposed to play Georgetown tonight. They're 22 in the country. Like, you only see that in a lifetime. Really I know. So it's just, praying every day that COVID doesn't, restrict anything, for your play, for your sake. But, with all that tying together, like now that you're on break, you kind of take a little bit of a break, but like you said, like you got to stay on that grind. What do you do as far as like work? Like explain to people what you do as far as working around.
I'm a hustler, I don't like, I try to do like more stuff that's like sort of, not sort of like I said, not would say on the books or not off the books, but like stuff that's like I can adapt to my schedule.
Yeah, right.
Like I said, I prioritize my workout schedule before anything. So when I wake up, it's not like, all right, what am I doing for work? It's my first work. What am I doing for a workout today?
Exactly. Yep.
So whatever I can do that adapt around my schedule, my lifting schedule, my training schedule, I'll try to pick a job for them. So I'll do like a lot of landscaping and construction, just a lot of hustle work. Like I'll do some pick up stuff for my brother's girlfriend's dad. I'll do some stuff for some friends who own some companies. Just wherever I can get my money on. I also work at a club right now, and just whatever I can do to make some money, because I obviously got to make your money. But like I said, I prioritize my training, so whatever can work around my training schedule, I should do.
Oh, for sure, that's the same mindset I got like with my job. Like first things first is obviously school, and then like what I can do to like adapt the schedule around what I got going on. But sure. Mainly I wanted to ask you about like your club experience, like being like, what do you like, you work security, right?
Yeah.
Being like a security guard. So like what have been like one of the most like I said earlier, like memorable moments or like cool like things that have happened to you, like, while being a security guard, like experiences like that?
Well, like say for instance, like we had Jay Critch there, so I was private security for him a few in the summer. And then recently we had Lil Mosey there, so I was security for him. Got to meet him, it was very cool, very, very good kid. Got to be on stage with him while he performed a couple of songs, and I got invited to the concert that he had in Providence. I got to be on stage with him there, not as a bouncer. But yeah, so mainly just like meeting I meet a whole bunch of new people. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's the best job being a bouncer.
Yeah.
Like, it can be very interesting at times, but you meet a lot of good people though. For instance, everyone like going out, have their fun, who like to go out, meet some new people. People who work there, very good people. So it's like I said, meeting the celebrities is pretty fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not, like I said earlier, I know you got a lot on your plate right now, going in so many different directions. But I mean, that's kind of all I got really lined up, for football, personal life experiences. But I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me here tonight for my 19th episode. Just kept trying to stay on the grind just like yourself, man. But I got one last question before I let you go. What did you think of the show, and who might you want to see come on next as a featured guest?
I very like the show line. I appreciate the opportunity you're giving me to be on here. You have your questions all set up properly. It's all like genuine. It's not like all bullshitted and
no. I like to dig deep. Like I know we've met. Obviously we met. Like we played sports with each other. It's like I love to like dig deep and to like kind of find who you are as a person, how everything could just kind of started. That's why I kind of have my guidelines.
Sure. Yeah, I like the show a lot. You got to keep it up. Keep doing your thing. And, someone I would like to see on here pretty soon would be someone like Nick Conti.
Mm-hmm.
Good Duke baseball player. Even who knows? Maybe you can get David Duke on here somehow, somewhere.
Yeah, I've been trying to talk to like Calvin. He's the leader of Camp Arrow. He just got a coaching job at Moses Brown. Trying to get in contact with him a little bit because he's like really close with David. But it's all, like I said, it's all about who you know. It's all about who you can reach out to. Like I just talked to Aaron Gray. He's close with AJ Reeves, plays at PC. Like, all different kinds of connections. But again, Colin, I appreciate the time, man. Definitely keep in touch.
Sure, bro,
and wish you and your family a safe and happy holidays for sure, man.
You as well, brother. Appreciate you. Take care, all right?
You too, bro.